All right, everyone. Well, I've got with me now the head judge today at the Noosa Concours, David Berthon. David, welcome to Retro Rides.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's just been unbelievable. I just can't get over the enthusiasm of the public. I mean, I don't think I've seen the difference between this and some of the other concourses that have been held in Australia. It's not free to the public, and I think that's so important, particularly for young kids. And if you look around, there's a big number of young people here. They're the future of this event and motoring, and I think that's a great thing to see.
Motoring, as we know it, is a sensory experience, so smell, sound,
right.
And this morning when those Brabham cars rode down the street,
awesome.
What a fabulous thing. And as you say, to see so many young kids witnessing something like that, a lot of them have never seen a car like that.
Just taking continually photographing cars. And look, I mean, this is all about elegance, cars and elegance, and there's some very elegant cars here. Not so many really exotic coach-built cars that we've seen in the past, but that'll happen next year. It tends to ebb and flow. We had more sports-orientated cars today, like the F40 and the Enzo Ferrari. Cars that are very hard to pin and say they're elegant, but they have a certain presence. And, that's what shone out for us today. But there were the 65 to 85 year class, very competitive. We were splitting hairs, quarter points. I mean, we agonised at times over 2 or 3 cars. It's just so close.
So that leads me into my next question. How does one become a concours judge?
Well, look, I've been restoring and involved with concourses for 35 years. Pebble Beach 14 times. Been a judge at the Sydney Concours for about 7 years. I've had concours winning cars. I had my 1913 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost was best of show at Motor Classica in Melbourne 2017. I won the best trophy with my 1903 Maxim in England at a concours over there. So I've been very involved, particularly with veteran and vintage cars. And then at the moment I've got a 1928 Rolls-Royce Phantom 1, which I've won trophies with. So I've been very much involved with that sort of best of show type car for many years. So I've been asked to be judged. People think I must know a bit about them. And it was very nice when I got a call from Elisa and Kylie to come up here and be chief judge.
So what is it? I know it's hard to sum this up in layman's terms, and I hear you talking about things like splitting hairs.
Yeah.
What would be an example? I mean,
there's certain things that happen with restorers. You've got to remember a lot of the cars here maybe in the 60s and 70s. And the big failing with a lot of restorers today is that they restore to today's paint standard. So, in 1965, we didn't have computerisation like we've got today. We didn't have robots. Body fit wasn't anywhere near as good as it is today, done by robotic manufacture. So paint quality, there are a few cars here today that we felt were over-restored. Their paint quality was probably 2026 and 1962.
So that is over-restored?
It's over-restoration. Because, you've got to remember, they just didn't have the facilities back 30 years ago. So we look for, and a lot of restorers also, whether they're professional or amateur, with body fit, for example. If you look at a modern car, because it's all done with robotics, all of the body gaps between the doors and the boot lid and the bonnet, they're all very accurate and very, they're all very much the same. Perfect. And yet, in 1955, if I showed you a Bentley Continental Flying Spur, that was a very expensive car, the body gaps are atrocious. But that's the way they built them. They were hand built, and it wasn't considered to be a big thing back then. The other thing you look for is, say, when you paint body panels individually, you feather the edge. Whereas, you've got, a door meeting the front mudguard, you see that the paint curves in where they've had the panels off and they've rubbed them.
Yeah.
And instead of there being a nice sharp edge, they've rounded it off.
Right.
All little things like that. I know it sounds silly, but when you're looking for the best of the best, that's the sort of
thing. And this is what makes a vehicle a concours vehicle, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that 300 SL Mercedes to us, we agonised over that car for about an hour. It's absolutely flawless. So who's the guys that did it really knew their stuff.
So as someone who's judged at these various events around the world, and certainly, you know, Pebble Beach is probably one of the pinnacle events, how do you feel the standard of cars is in Australia?
Well, the problem we've got here is that there's never enough cars. The number of, you know, each year you're looking for people that have restored cars in the last 12 months to get the numbers up. You know, it's difficult. Whereas in Europe and America, there's just so many collectors and so many collector cars that there's never a shortage of entries. But here, we're always struggling to get really top entries. And so, you know, there's good representation here, but there probably could have been a little bit wider. If I was to be critical of the entries this year, I'd say we had a little bit too many sports-orientated cars and not enough cars with what you would call elegant styling. You know, like last year, for example, there was a beautiful Bugatti here with flowing lines. You know, the French, perhaps more than anybody in the 30s pre-war, provided, you know, built the really beautiful coachbuilt cars with long bonnets, flowing guards, you know, and they were elegant. So Paul and I today, we felt there was less evidence perhaps on elegance and more on presence. You get a car like an Enzo Ferrari, you see how the kids react to an F40 Ferrari. I mean, and they hear the thing start up, and I mean, their eyes change colour.
They're really quite a simple car, an F40 really. They're a very basic car.
They're an awesome car to drive. Having driven one, they're an absolute awesome thing. You get into trouble very quickly in one. But, you know, they have a lot of presence. You know, you look at that thing and it looks brutal just sitting there without you even hearing it. You know?
Well, one of the things that struck me today, and this is our first visit this year, is certainly the number of people here, the quality of cars, but also the array of cars. As you say, F40s, we had an XW GT, I think, Falcon or an XY.
That's right.
We've got lovely Mercedes-Benz, a Dino Ferrari, pre-war. I mean, it's amazing.
1897 Daimler, I mean, fascinating piece of early motoring history. Fascinating motor car. So nice to, I mean, I love the very early, the dawn of motoring, you might call it. I love that era, you know, fascinating. And to see that car start up this morning, you know, and the people were standing around and they cranked it, you know, it was just amazing. Yeah.
It is wonderful. Well, look, David, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time. It's been a wonderful event, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Good luck with Retro Rides too.
Thank you very much.
It's a great course.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Lovely to meet you.
Likewise.
All right. We'll see you again.
Thank you very much.